So that house ahead then, potentially that could be the magistrates, as seen in the scene with Terry Scott and Sid James. After the bun fight. What are you doing? It's alright, you can walk beside me, you twit.
That's what I'm doing now.
No, you're walking behind me like you're hiding behind bloody corners like your private eye. And of course, well, that's why, you see, when I tried to find the pub that was referred to on that Bless This House website, the George Inn, when I tried to find it on the pub listings, it wasn't happening. Now I know why. Contact bloke in the Swan there, it shut down to a month back. And this is the pub where Terry Scott and Sid James go to have a celebratory drink after. See, that could be a reference point there, the entrance thing, with the gates. Right, Jeff, we are now here at St Peter's Church in Burnham. The scene of the wedding to Bless This House. And there's a plaque here and all. Right. Go that way. Oh, so it's the other side where they filmed it. Oh yeah. So obviously these houses at the front here, I don't think they were there then, would they? Would have been? So they look kind of 80s houses, don't they? I don't think they would have been there then, Jeff, somehow. I'll have to look at the film again to see, but I think it was far more open when the fire engine with Terry Scott and Sid James hanging onto the back comes down here, and then they come dashing through them gates up this path to where they've got for the final wedding photograph, you've got Bill Maynard and all the cast, Carol Hawkins, Robin Asquith, all stood outside this church in Burnham. So just to reiterate again, this is where, we'll get a bit closer like, but this is where Terry Scott and the late great Terry Scott and the late great legendary Sid James, with their blackened faces, jump off the fire engine and leap up here for the wedding photo in front of this church. Just trying to imagine the Bless This House film is a brilliant film, I think, and paying homage to late great Sid James. Now we're heading down to where the fire engine would have gone past. It is that bloke in the Swan pub in Burnham High Street, who's got a flat somewhere around here. Saw the film the other day, and this is definitely where the fire engine comes down. Not far from the United Reformed Church, where that woman pointed out. So this is where the fire engine in the film comes at speed, stops about here, and then they tried to get through here, didn't they? So This would have been the gate where they struggled to get through. Obviously they've just been fighting the shed fire to the climax of the film, which was the wedding scene, and where Bill Maynard becomes like her surrogate father in a way, because Terry Scott's character is engaged with Sid James with the fire brigade at the shed. Right, I'm with my friend Jeffrey Horn. It's Monday the 19th of April, and we are here at the old entrance to Pinewood Studios on Pinewood Lane. I would just like to personally pay homage to Jack Douglas, Joan Sims, Patsy Rowlands, Bernard Bresslaw, Peter Butterworth, Kenneth Connor, Kenneth Williams, Sid James, Gerald Thomas, Peter Rogers, including some that are still alive, Barbara Windsor, Bernard Cribbins, Jim Dale, whose real name is Jim Smith, but apparently there was a comic. There was a comedian around at the same time also called Jim Smith, so he took the name of his agent called Sidney Dale, according to one of the audio commentaries, so became Jim Dale. And now he's doing the Harry Potter books in America. And he's doing a lot of theatre work in America. That's where the sign was, where the like a wishing well design, which had the sign for Pinewood Studios on it. Well, that's long gone. The main entrance is up there at the next roundabout. Brilliant. Now, we're now at the location of the Reverend Flasher's Rectory in Stoke Poges, which is actually on private property, but we've got permission. And a bit further up is the big house, which is now a spa cum golf course. And we've got the big lake here, so this must have been a massive house in its time. And I can only think that the houses here, I reckon this, Jeff, could have been the original manor house. Replaced. This could have been the original manor house, replaced by that big building up there at a later date, or this could have been the estate manager's house, which is, but then again, it's fairly big for the estate manager's house, isn't it? Then you got these little houses around here, so these would have been the estate workers' houses dotted around here. But this could have been the original one. But obviously, what they would have done, let's start weaving now to the pillory scene and the police HQ for boss man has had enough of us. What they used to do is they used to either flatten the house and rebuild a bigger one, or and then they would relocate the house further on and left this one for the workers, or the senior managers, the chief gardener, the chief of all the staff. And obviously that there would have been the stable block. Now this is it. So that would have been
So the horses come through that entrance.
Well, they would have to have done, because that's the original wall, the original pillars. So that would have been the where the cells were, and the police station were, wasn't it? This is where the pillory was. Here, where Bill Maynard's character gets pelted with rotten veg. So this is it. So this would have been the coaching house and stables. I am now at the location after an almighty struggle with some false information on the internet about the location of the Carry On Sergeant Church. The first location given to us was in Sears Green, on the outskirts of Beaconsfield, and went past this church, believe it or not. That was the sat nav. The Q&A session on the internet, Yahoo Answers, I think. Someone put it was St Mary's Church. What was that village called?
Harefield.
Harefield. But I just checked the Whip It In, and it says St Mary's and All Saints, Beaconsfield. Time's getting on now. It's least, you know, we're losing the light. And that pub, the Royal Saracen's Head. That's probably walked past. So this is it, Jeff. We've finally got it.
So a car would have been parked here.
Yeah, it would have been parked around here. Because obviously this here is your where the bride and groom would have walked up. The then gorgeous Shirley Eaton, who is now on that documentary called What's the Carry On, which must have been done in the mid to late 90s, because Joan Sims was still alive, and as I said, Jack Douglas, who is now obviously deceased, he at the time looked in brilliantly good condition. And then you look at the interview he did for the Carry On Christmas specials, where he's filmed in Power Studios, and he looks definitely aged when you compare the two interviews from the What's the Carry On doc and the interviews for the Carry On Christmas specials DVD. And so this is where the then gorgeous Shirley Eaton and Bob Monkhouse walked down here to a Rolls Royce, I think it was. Right, we are now in Denham, the best kept village, from 58, 59, 63, and 97, and 98, and 99. We're now going to proceed to some film locations once Jeff's finished arsing about in the car. Well, that's a lovely old house, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look, it reminds me a little bit of where that front bit there, it's of like the holly bush. Well, of course, the Green Man is also the same name of the pub that was used in The Wicker Man. Well, it actually wasn't a pub, but they turned the exterior into one. But they did actually use a pub on the island, but So this is shares the same name on the film in The Wicker Man, which I think the superior version is the one with Edward Woodward and the great, legendary Christopher Lee, who I think is an absolute legend. I've got next door to it, we've got a pub we've never been in, the Swan. As you can see, the pub sign up there is slightly been disturbed by the grove, whatever it is. Right, on to the film locations. Yeah, you've got to be careful with this phone because if you have it on pause for too long, it automatically says whatever you've done. But it's not a bad thing because I can always splice them together on Windows Movie Maker. Right, we're now at the location as used in Carry On, Don't Lose Your Head and Carry On, Matron. Right, I will step further back. Right, we're now in Denham Village. This is the church as used in the wedding scenes at the end of Carry On, Matron and Carry On, Don't Lose Your Head. Now if we move over here, Jeff, the final location. Right, this stretch of road here is where Sid James, Bill Maynard and Bernard Bresslaw were. Are you going to stop? You know who start? Yeah, that's it. This is where Bill Maynard and Bernard Bresslaw and Sid James were at the same scene where Kenneth Cope's character was marrying Barbara Windsor. And this is where they eloped out of the car at the end when they realised that Sid had another crazy scheme. I think that concludes Jeff in Denham.